What's your best sexual joke? Posted this in /r/jokes a while back. Mom finds a large number of BDSM magazines beneath her son's bed. Calls her husband up to the room to show him and discuss. What do you think we should do? She asks. Father frowns and responds, well, I guess spanking him is out of the question. Two nuns are riding bikes along a cobbled road. One turns to the other and says, I've never come this way before. The other replies, neither have I. It must be the cobbles. A couple of guys are walking down the street when they see a dog licking its own crotch. One guy looks to the other and says, I wish I could do that. The second guy responds, maybe you should try petting him first. A husband and wife are having issues in the bedroom. The man has no issues, but the woman can't reach an orgasm. She tells her husband it is because she gets too warm. After going to see a specialist, he recommended that they have a constant supply of cool air in the bedroom. So the man asks his best friend to waft a towel whilst him and his wife make love. Begrudgingly, he submits and says yes. After 20 minutes of love making, the woman is no closer to orgasm whilst the man is nearly finished and wants to hold out. So the friend wafting the towel recommends that they switch places until he is ready to do more. So the friend is now having sex with the woman while the man wafts the towel. After 2 minutes, the woman starts to tremble and lets out an incredible cry as she reaches the most intense orgasm she has ever had. The man looks at his friend and proudly proclaims, now that, my friend, is how you waft a ducking towel. A man walks into a bar. Upon sitting down, a busted blonde waitress pours him a drink and asks if he would like some food. He looks up at the menu above the bar. It says, hot dog $2, cheeseburger $5, handjob $10. He asks the waitress, Miss, are you the one who gives the handjobs? She winks and replies, why yes I am. He says, well, wash your hands. I want a cheeseburger. A bank manager called into his office one of his employees to tell her about the company downsizing. After some small talk, he finally mustered up the courage to break the news. He said, Mary, I'm not sure how to say this to you, but I've got a tough decision to make. I've either got to lay you or jack off. Mary stands up, looked him in the eyes and said, jack off. I've got a headache. What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball? Make choking sounds. Dougal O'Reilly is at the pub one night when he climbs to his feet. I got one for ya. He says. I got one. The crowd quiets. Here's to spendin' the rest o' me life. Lyin' between the legs o' me wife. It's an easy audience. Everyone's half cut. And wouldn't you know, he wins the prize for best toast of the night. Another hour later, Dougal wobbles home and in the back door, he snaps a 20 note and presents it to his wife. Mary, guess who won the prize for the best toast o' the night? Oh, isn't that lovely? Says Mary. And what was this wonderful toast you made? I said here's to spendin' the rest of me life. Lier. Said it in church beside me wife. That's nice. Dougal. She says, looking puzzled. Next day, she's on High Street to get something nice for dinner with a wee bounty, when she runs smack into one of Dougal's drinking buddies. Hey, Mary, he says, leering. Did ya know Dougal won a prize with a toast about your last night? I know. She says, though I was a bit surprised myself. I mean, he's only been there twice in 4 years. And the last time, I had to pull him by the ears to make him come. A sadist, a masochist, a murderer, a necrophile, a zoophile and a pyromaniac are all sitting on a bench in a mental institution. Let's have sex with a cat. Asked the zoophile. Let's have sex with a cat and then torture it. Says the sadist. Let's have sex with a cat. Torture it and then kill it. Shouted the murderer. Let's have sex with a cat. Torture it. Kill it and then have sex with it again. Said the necrophile. Let's have sex with a cat. Torture it. Kill it. Have sex with it again and then burn it," said the pyromaniac. There was silence. And then the masochist said, "Meow." A girl walks into a bar and asks the bartender for a double entendre. So he gives it to her. Two sperm are swimming around inside the woman. The first one is exhausted. Almost out of breath, it asks, "How much farther until we get to the uterus?" The second one breaks into laughter. It replies, "The uterus? We haven't even left the esophagus yet." I used to date an English teacher, but she dumped me for inappropriate use of the colon. Also, what's the difference between a woman and a computer? Computers don't laugh at 3.5 floppies. Yes, I'm old. I read this somewhere else, but two elderly women are sitting on a park bench. A man in a trench coat runs up to them and flashes them. One woman had a stroke. The other couldn't reach. Two nuns are painting an office at the rectory on a hot summer day. One says to the other, "We should take off our habits so as to not get paint on them." So both nuns are painting the room in a nude when they hear a knock on the door. Flustered, one says, "Who is it?" Followed by a man's voice saying, "Blind man." Figuring the man wouldn't see anything, they open the door. The man walks in and says, "Nice tits, ladies. Now where do you want me to install these blinds?" A 9-year-old girl came up to her mother and said, "What's sex?" The mother set her down and gave the talk. After explaining, she asked her daughter why she asked. And the daughter said, "I told Dad dinner was ready and he said he would be down in a few seconds. If blackbirds make baby blackbirds and bluebirds make baby bluebirds, what kind of bird makes no baby bird?" Swallows. The National Poetry Contest had come down to two semi-finalists, a Yale graduate and a redneck from Wyoming. They were given a word, then allowed 2 minutes to study the word and come up with a poem that contained the word. The word they were given was Timbuktu. First to recite his poem was the Yale graduate. He stepped to the microphone and said, "Slowly across the desert sand trekked a lonely caravan. Men on camels. 2 by 2 destination Timbuktu." The crowd went crazy. No way could the redneck top that, they thought. The redneck calmly made his way to the microphone and recited, "Me and Tim a huntin' went. Met 3 whores in a pop-up tent. They was 3. And we was 2. So I bucked 1. And Timbuktu. My girlfriend thought I'd be a pushover in bed. And wouldn't you know it, she had me pegged from the start." When King Arthur went on the Crusades, he left behind his most trusted knights of the Round Table to watch over his beautiful Queen Guinevere. Her beauty was such that no man in the land could withstand it. Knowing this, wise King Arthur affixed her with a chastity belt, which on the outside had many spikes and snags to dissuade any competitors. When he returned from the Crusades, he called a meeting of his knights, and demanded they all drop their trousers to see who had been unfaithful and had attempted to lay with Guinevere. All the men except good Sir Lancelot had scars and cuts on their thighs and genitals, showing that they had been unfaithful to King Arthur. Arthur said, "Lancelot, my friend, wisest, noblest and kindest of all my knights, how did you resist the beauty of Guinevere?" Lancelot responded, "If this joke is best when told in public and incredibly overperformed with storytelling and accents and such, as my uncle did when he told it to 14-year-old me at a fine dining restaurant." One of my favorite Little Johnny jokes. On this particular day, the teacher wanted to ask her class which part of the body went to heaven first. One little girl raised her hand and said, "I think your mind goes to heaven first because you have to have a mind in order to believe in God." The teacher praises the little girl. Then a little boy raises his hand and says, "I think your heart goes to heaven first because God is all about love." "Very good," said the teacher. The teacher looked up and saw little Johnny's hand up. "Oh no," she thought, "I'm not gonna like this. Little Johnny, which part of the body do you think goes to heaven first?" Little Johnny thinks for a minute and says, "Your feet." The teacher asked him why he thought your feet go to heaven first. He replied, "Well, I was walking past my parents' bedroom last night and my mom had her feet up in the air and she said, 'Oh God, I'm coming.'